Hi, I'm Melinda Rose.
And I'm Laura Marshall.
And this is Light Matters for March 16th, 2011. The impact of last week's earthquake in Japan on optics and electronics makers has been mixed, with some reporting injured workers and severe structural damage to facilities, while others are mainly dealing with power outages and supply chain issues. Optics and imaging systems maker Edmund Optics said all of its employees in Japan are safe and there was no major structural damage to its facility, but it is continuing to assess the situation as aftershocks continue. Power outages are affecting production and shipping has been severely restricted. While its Japan staff is exploring options, substantial delays are expected, the company said in a letter to customers. Hamamatsu Photonics reported little direct impact from Friday's earthquake due to its location about 310 miles from the epicenter, and said it expects only minor delays in shipments. Canon said 15 employees were injured at a facility that includes its optical products plant and optical R&D center. The earthquake had the greatest impact on 3 of its operation sites and 5 Canon Group companies. Several Sony Corp and Sony Group sites and facilities that make Blu-ray discs, optical devices, batteries, and surface mounting equipment were affected, in particular at Sendai Technology Center. Operations were suspended Monday at a number of its affected production facilities. Some Panasonic employees reported minor injuries, and the company suspended operations at an affected factory while it continues to assess the damage. Several of the companies said they were sending financial aid and other supplies to the affected region. Well, the new issue of BioPhotonics comes out this week, and Laura has a preview for us.
This month, our cover story comes from news editor Gary Boas, who writes on in vivo microscopy for small animal imaging. The developments Gary covers include intravital imaging, near-infrared probes, and biomedical cameras, as well as 3D optoacoustic tomography. Also, contributing editor Hank Hogan discusses advances in confocal microscopy. His sources have found that higher resolution and faster imaging will enable live cell imaging, but upgrades in instrumentation will be required. In a feature article on fiber lasers, contributing editor Marie Freebody looks at the closing gap between solid-state and fiber lasers. As that happens, her sources say, biomedical applications for ultrafast fiber lasers should become more prevalent. Finally, Dr. Nihal De Silva and Dr. Simon Yu of Prevention and Healing Incorporated have contributed a report on using Raman spectroscopic biomarkers to monitor the efficacy of alternative therapies, specifically blue light therapy on human skin.
How electrons swarm under the influence of strong laser pulses and how they behave in the laser slipstream during their flight has been seen in real time, German physicists report. In previous experiments, only parts of the phenomenon could be seen at one time and only at a lower resolution. In the research, helium atoms flowing from a small nozzle were ionized by a laser pulse, forming a plasma channel from the helium ions and free electrons. In the channel, the flash of light accelerated a small portion of the electrons almost to the speed of light. The electrons then swarm in the slipstream of the laser pulse. The discovery will advance the development of new X-ray sources with much higher resolution than current devices allow. The results are described in Nature Physics.
When the Space Shuttle Discovery returned recently after its last mission to the International Space Station, it left behind a passenger that will never return to Earth. Astronauts delivered a humanoid robot dubbed Robonaut II, a highly dexterous machine that includes advanced vision capabilities combining time of flight and stereoscopic vision. Developed in 1997, the first generation of Robonaut, R1, was a human-like robotic assistant capable of performing simple maintenance tasks. NASA's R2 is a fully modular 300-pound robot that consists of a head and a torso with 2 arms and 2 hands. R2's many technological improvements include an improved range of sensors that feature color cameras as well as an infrared time-of-flight camera. R2 has 350 sensors for tactile, force, position, range finding, and vision sensing, and 38 PowerPC processors, enabling it to perform functions such as object recognition and manipulation. It also can react to its surroundings and operate semi-autonomously. R2's dexterity allows it to use the same tools as astronauts, removing the need for robot-specific tools.
That's it for this edition of Light Matters. For more on these stories and others, please visit Photonics.com.
And of course, watch for the new issue of BioPhotonics magazine.
Send your questions or comments to lightmatters@photonics.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back next week.